Hey there, it's Mallory here with All About Cats, and in this week's video we're going to be taking a look at an automatic pet water fountain from Petlibro. So I've tried a few Petlibro products over the last year or so. You may have seen my reviews of their automatic feeders, but this was my first time trying out one of their water fountains. So the Petlibro Capsule water fountain is a relatively new addition to the Petlibro lineup, and it offers a couple of things that are a bit different from the competition. I think the two main areas where the Petlibro Capsule stands out are in its filtration system and its noise levels. So for one, this fountain includes a 5-level filtration system. This involves a foam-free filter, a 3-stage main filter, and then the filtration offered by the plastic top tray. Secondly, Petlibro says that this is their quietest water fountain ever. So it has a patented valve and a noise-insulated tube that promise to pretty much eliminate any motor noise as this fountain operates. But essentially, this is a pretty simple, small to medium-sized fountain that does everything that a good water fountain should. Again, a water fountain is a good option for cats because they need plenty of hydration to support urinary and overall health, but usually don't get enough either from their food or from their water bowl. Providing moving water allows you to tap into your cat's instinct to prefer fresh, well-oxygenated water from a running source. I've tried a number of water fountains that have a lot of fiddly parts and things that can be a little bit unclear in terms of assembly, but I found that this one was really easy to put together. So it's constructed from ABS plastic. It has this main reservoir, which will contain 71 ounces or 2.1 liters of water. And then inside of that reservoir will sit your pump. So you're going to position that pump, thread your cord through this little track, and then you're going to attach the silicone pipe so that it can connect to the top tray. You'll put in your 3-stage filter, and then you'll put on the top tray. Now the fountain comes with this little spout attachment, so you'll insert this into the hole, and then water will come out in a nice free-flowing stream. This is really appealing for cats who like to drink out of the faucet, cats who like that kind of nice stream that they can lap at. But if your cat prefers more of a gentle bubbling, you can remove that spout as well and create a little bit of a different water dynamic. So once you put the fountain together and you've plugged it in, it's going to start working. Now I think there are two main things that we need to think about when we discuss fountain's operation and how well it works. The first is filtration. So even after my 1-month test, it's difficult to say how well this fountain filtered the water, but I can make a few comments. Firstly, this fountain seems to employ a more advanced filtration system than I'm seeing in other water fountains. So first off, it has this little foam filter that is inserted into the pump, which is going to help to protect that from any larger debris that might get in there and damage that system. Secondly, it has this primary filter, which is going to be seated in that filter tray. Now this filter includes 3 levels of filtration. It has non-woven fabric, which is going to help to capture larger particles, and then it has 2 little carbon pockets, which is going to help to remove any unwanted odors and pollutants from the water. And then it has in the middle this ion exchange resin. So ion exchange resin beads are often found in water softeners and water filtration systems. The way that they work is by capturing the ions that you don't want in your water, and then as again an ion exchange resin, it's going to replace those ions with something more innocuous like sodium or potassium ions. And so this helps to make the water a bit more pure and clean for your cat to drink. So I found it interesting that this water fountain employs a number of different levels of filtration. Certainly it looks like a bit more of an advanced filtration system than we're seeing in most water fountains on the market. I find that water fountains like this that have only a relatively small amount of water exposed at a time tend to filter water a little bit better than those that have larger drinking bowls or pools. And overall, I found that the water always seemed pretty clean. I also noticed that there was a pretty significant amount of particles that had collected on the filter after I'd used it for about 2 weeks, so it certainly seemed that it was effectively collecting things and not just letting them sit around in the water. The second area that I want to talk about is ease of cleaning. So I found that this water fountain was quite easy to clean. I found myself taking it apart and cleaning it about every 2 weeks. Now, of course, it's made from plastic, which means that it's more likely to accumulate biofilm compared to a stainless steel or ceramic fountain. I didn't notice a lot of slime, but I know from my experience using other plastic fountains that this does tend to accumulate over time. But at the same time, this water fountain is very, very easy to disassemble. It's very easy to clean. And aside from that concern with it being a plastic fountain and potentially getting a little bit dirtier faster, I found that this was a really cat-friendly fountain, and there are a couple of reasons for this. First off, my cats used it readily. Secondly, I like that this water fountain has a couple of different options for drinking styles, so whether your cat prefers a free-flowing stream or more of a bubbling pool, you're able to accommodate their taste. And this can be a really nice touch, especially for those of you who are trying to figure out what your cat likes and you're really trying to entice them to drink and you're not entirely sure what will work. Having a couple of different options is always a nice thing. And then, of course, we have the fact that this fountain does operate really quietly. Again, Petlibro calls this their quietest fountain ever, and compared to the other fountains that I've tried, I did find that it was surprisingly low noise. So while a lot of other fountains are going to create kind of a humming noise as they run, this one didn't really seem to make any noise. The only thing that I was hearing was the splashing of the water. So if you're someone who doesn't like that little faint hum in your room when a water fountain is running, you might want to opt for this fountain. It really is pretty quiet. So finally, how much does the Petlibro Capsule fountain cost? So currently, the Petlibro Capsule fountain costs $39.99 in the Petlibro store, which is a moderate price. It's a little bit more expensive than something like the Cat Flower fountain, but it's certainly not the most expensive water fountain on the market. However, I did notice that it's probably going to be a bit more expensive over time compared to some other water fountains on the market. So Petlibro recommends that you replace the filters once every 2 weeks. I know that other fountains will usually recommend between every 2 weeks and once per month, and a 4-pack of filters is going to cost $15.99 in the Petlibro store. I found that other fountains tend to cost a little bit less than this in terms of replacement cost. For comparison, the Cat Flower fountain costs up to $62 per year if you're changing out the filter once every 2 weeks. And something like the Pet Safe Drinkwell Platinum is going to cost as little as $9 per year in terms of filter replacement cost. So clearly the filter replacement cost is a little bit higher, but remember that it does also seem to be a more advanced filtration system. So it could be worth it if this is a priority for you. Another thing to consider is that you can get a much better deal if you bundle your purchase of the fountain with an 8-pack of filters. So for just over $65, you're going to get the fountain and 8 filters. So that'll definitely put you ahead and save you some of those replacement costs over time. Another way to get a better price is to use the All About Cats coupon code. So if you enter this code at checkout, you can get 20% off of your first order of the Petlibro Capsule fountain or the bundle with the filters or any other single item in the Petlibro store, assuming that is your first order. So overall, is the Petlibro Capsule water fountain worth it? Well, I think that it certainly could be worth it for the right person. So if you're looking for a moderately sized water fountain for 1 or 2 cats and you're looking for something with excellent filtration, an ultra easy to clean design, and extremely quiet operation, then the Petlibro Capsule fountain has everything you're looking for. It seems to really excel in filtration, quiet operation, and ease of use for both cats and people. As always, if you're interested in trying out this fountain, check out the links in the description. And of course, don't forget to use that All About Cats coupon code in order to get 20% off of your order. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you found it helpful. If you have any questions about the Petlibro Capsule, please drop them in the comments and I'll be sure to answer you as soon as possible. And of course, if you have any other questions or comments, you're also welcome to share those as well. If you appreciated this video and you're interested in more product reviews, buyer's guides, and information on all things cats, please feel free to subscribe to the All About Cats channel and click the notification bell so you get the news every time we release a new upload. Thank you so much, and I will see you next week. Bye.